You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy Friday. Hopefully everybody has a pleasant weekend to look forward to. So nevertheless, y'all, I wanted to get into this. I wanted to get it popping because I know everybody has things to do, and plus I got to make sure I get through this relatively quickly because I wasn't sure that I was going to get free breakfast through my cousin. And anybody who knows Mocha knows I do not miss out on free breakfast, honey. When somebody said they want to treat me out for lunch or treat me out for breakfast, I don't pass up on a good blessing, honey. So yeah, we're going to have to get this on the popping so I can get dressed and catch my free breakfast, honey. So nevertheless, y'all, I definitely wanted to talk about this. Big ups to 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, who basically did content the other day on the situation with the interview with original straight no chaser and Arionne air mattress. So I went to do a drive-by to see the video that was uploaded by Straight Chaser. And when I say she is a very, very brilliant blogger. I've heard a lot about Straight No Chaser, but I never got a chance to really like watch her content because there's so many content creators that, you know, are keeping a foot, you know, on Arionne and Martell, you know, and the Scots, which I like to call a scam. So it's just too many of them to keep up with. But nevertheless, I'm glad I went and took the time to stop by and check out her channel, because when I said she was very, very brilliant in her strategies and how she was able to make Arionne feel so comfortable with spilling her guts out, and I'm like, it really shows you how childish, you know, and delusional Arionne really is, you know, to think that a blogger has your best interest. And you know, I'm not knocking a blogger because the blogger did the darn thing. She did her job, you know. So no disrespect and not knocking her method as to you know, what she did to make Arionne feel comfortable enough to, you know, give her all the information. So I mean, big ups to her. But I'm talking about Arionne air mattress. The fact that you so badly don't have any friends, and you so badly want to be heard because you feel like you're so misunderstood that you're willing to gravitate towards anyone that's willing to listen to your delusional ass, and basically, you know what I mean, will give you the floor, you know, to put all your business out there. And I think a lot of it has to do with you know, air mattress is very, very lonely. I don't think she has any friends, and I believe the friends that she did have, the more chaotic, you know, things started spiraling out of control between her and Martell. I think the one or two little friends she did have, you know, they drifted off. You know, they no longer wanted to be associated with her, and you know, you can tell Arionne is one of those type of females that if you were to be friends with her, she's one that, will only take you seriously in friendship is if you're willing to co-sign with her on her delusions and her shenanigans. And like I said, I got to give my hats off to Straight No Chaser, because I can tell the way that she was communicating with Arionne. She would stroke Arionne's ego, and basically kind of, low-key praise her, and you can tell it was just straight strategy. And Arionne is so full of air in the head. That's why I call her air mattress and airhead. She's not able to read the room. And as a woman of substance and common sense, you got to be able to read the room. First of all, nobody likes you. Even women who pretend to like you, they're only pretending to like you to get information out of you so they can use it against you. Because listen, nobody's checking for a side chick who is so happy to embrace the fact that she has a bastard child from a married man. And I'm gonna say that because I know a lot of you bloggers, y'all don't want to step on a child, and you don't want to condemn somebody's child, but this is what the Bible said. Anytime you conceive and have a child outside the will of marriage, it is a bastard child. And I said what I said because this is the problem. Long as y'all want to keep lightening things up and soften things, this is why these side chicks see nothing wrong with what they do. This is the reason why they lack accountability. And this is the reason why you got women around here like Arionne Air Mattress who have no respect, no regrets for the things that she has done. Well, now, based off this interview, which Original Straight Chaser did a phenomenal job. Now you can tell she's back to being in her feelings and having regrets about getting pregnant from a married man, but we'll go into that later as I give you a lot of this information. So I like how Straight Chaser would stroke her ego and say, yeah, girl, Martell is still checking for you. But I like the fact that Straight Chaser did not dog the other women to stroke Arionne's ego, if y'all get where I'm coming from. It wasn't like Straight Chaser was like, yeah, because Melanie ain't got nothing going for herself, so yeah, that's the reason why Martell should be checking for you. And I like that. I like that Straight Chaser did not put down anyone else to build Arionne up. So big ups to her. Give big ups to Original Straight Chaser. I did just subscribe to her channel yesterday, so y'all get a chance, if you haven't subscribed to Original Straight Chaser, that's the name of her channel, make sure you do that. When you do, please tell her, put in a comment below, Mocha sent me here. I do believe in giving content creators, they shout out, showing them some love. I think it's imperative that we do that, especially if you are a content creator and you're getting ready to use their information or repeat their information. You do have to show content creators they props, because a lot of content creators don't do that. They get other people's information and use it as if they were the ones who originally discovered the information or obtained the information. I just don't believe in doing that. I think that's a big YouTube sister blog code for me. I'm not going to bite any of my sisters' information and use it as if it's mine, and like I'm the one who did all the research and gathered up all the evidence to get it. So but yeah, but as much as it would have been more convenient for me to put Original Straight Chasers information in this clip, I don't want a strike on my channel, and I don't want any beef or problems with other content creators. Man, it gets really messy when you're using other people's material and you're putting it in your videos on your platform. So what I had to do was go the extra mile and put in work and basically listen to the interview thoroughly. And I basically had to take a lot of notes because I couldn't use I couldn't use Original Straight Chaser information and put it in my content. So basically, y'all, what's going on is your girl Arionne Air Mattress is once again in her bitter, going through her little bitter phases, and she's back to posting things back on her Instagram, and the Shade Room has no mercy. Like this one, I don't think it's the Shade Room, it's the Neighborhood Talk. So anytime, and this is what Air Mattress don't understand, anytime she posts or says anything about Martell, these social media sites are going to take it and run with it. These bloggers are going to take it and run with it. So she's not understanding. Whatever you put out there, be prepared that the sources are going to get it, and they're going to exploit whatever information you share, and they're going to put their own twist and narrative and spin on it. Now, Air Mattress could be doing that on purpose, because that is her way of being heard, because we obviously know Martell does not give a rat's behind. She probably cannot get through to Martell. So I think when she goes to social media, it's like a desperate attempt. It's like a cry out for help, because she really wants to be heard. And she knows that Martell's pet peeve is putting their business out there. She knows that Martell, nothing angers him or irritates him more than her sharing information about what's going on between both of them. Because Martell thinks he's Pretty Boy Floyd. Well, I like to call him Pretty Boy Unemployed Floyd, because he's unemployed. He does not have a job. He rather link up with women and do fake storylines so he could get a piece of the Bravo Atlanta Housewives check, which Sheree has failed yet to give him that 20% cut. And we all already know there's no honor among thieves. So I don't know why Martell thought, that Sheree, who don't like to pay, was going to pay him off. Everybody knows that Sheree has a bad reputation of not paying her debts. Plenty of people have complained around the city of Atlanta. She has not paid a lot of people who have done business with her, but nevertheless, when you are in Martell's position and you're that desperate, you'll take a chance and hope that it works out, hope that you benefit. And in a sense, I kind of don't blame her for not breaking him off, because 9 times out of 10, her and Martell done been in bed together. And I'm sure originally it started off as, we just going to do this for a storyline type of thing. But it ends up being confirmed in the interview that indeed Sheree did ended up really catching feelings for Martell. Because you got to realize Sheree is desperate too. Sheree has been manless for a very long time, even with all her beauty and physique. You have to realize a lot of the women in Atlanta, they can't catch a break with these men. They going so far, like Phaedra and Nene. They doing a double B. They bleaching and blonding themselves, and thinking it's gonna make them stand out from above the rest. And in actuality, a lot of the women are starting to look the same. And you have to realize in Atlanta that's a city where there's the majority of stars who reside there: rappers, lawyers, producers, athletes. And it's a lot of competition in the single life. And being a single woman, you got these young women that are coming up behind you, that are baddies, got nice bodies that are also beautiful and flawless. And you got to bring something different to the table other than bleaching your skin and blonding your hair and getting all these Botox. Yeah, we're going to add the 3 B's: bleaching, blonding, and Botox. You heard it here first. I'm going to copyright that. Bleaching, blonding, and Botox. That's the trend of older women, in the industry, and not understanding that they're not standing out. Erica Mena from Love and Hip Hop, which I like to call Love and Flip Flop. There's a picture going around of her and NeNe who look exactly alike. So I'm assuming Erica Mena probably got her face tightened up also. So it's becoming a trend. A lot of these women are falling into a stage of desperation. So at this point, they feel as if the only way they could get the attention of a man is by getting all the surgical work done to their body, to only find out that even when you get all of that done and you done spent all these thousands, you still have a difficult time getting men to take you seriously before the surgery. And you still gonna have that same challenge after the surgery, because the bottom line is a lot of these women, they'll change their face, they'll change their wigs, they'll change their butts, they'll change their boobs, but they don't change their attitude, they don't change their outlook on life. And you don't change your mindset, you're going to continue to keep meeting the same breed of men, this thinking you all of that, and you all of that in a bag of chips and all of this, like they used to say back in the day. And these men will humble you. NeNe walked around here, and I know I'm going off subject, and trust me, I'm going to talk about this Arionne thing, but just to just a pause in reality. NeNe's husband Greg, the ink wasn't even dried on his death certificate, and she was around here already, galloping like the tall horse that she is with what's the dude name? With I think his name Naomi or something. Yeah. She went around galloping with this man like the tall horse that she is. Shashaying with him all through the Atlanta streets. Trying to act like she this young high school girl that's just getting out into the world, when everybody knows Greg ain't even been in the ground a good month. And already you walking around here sporting this dude who's a married man. Wearing stilettos, I know that's killing your feet, because you a big girl, NeNe. All that weight that's sitting on them stilettos, I know your feet was hurting. You might have been sashaying in front of sashaying with your married man every time TMZ or paparazzi caught y'all coming out one of those expensive 5-star restaurants. But you not gonna tell me that when you went home, or when y'all went to go sit in that limo, that you didn't take those red bottoms off and you didn't soak your feet in some Epsom salt, also in some Johnson's foot soap when you got home. I'm not even about to believe that. Because as you get older, certain things just don't suit your body anymore. And that's what a lot of older women don't understand. You got to embrace your age. Not to say you got to walk around acting like, you're on Medicaid with a cane and, in an electric scooter. But you out here trying to live your city girl life. And it's not a good look. So, she went so far as to getting all this work done to her body, done to her face, because we know NeNe, like a lot of these women out here, they don't have any self-esteem. You're not a mean girl for nothing. You wasn't mean and nasty just so you can keep your fans entertained. You was mean and nasty because you was not happy with yourself. You was not happy with how you look. If you look back at the first couple of seasons when NeNe started off, her face has changed drastically. That nose, her complexion. You went from wearing, these thick curly wigs to now you on the blonde and straight like you a white woman, and you're not, and it's gotten to the point, I don't know what's going on with us as black women, but everybody wants a lighter skin and brighter and brighter wigs. You should be able to embrace your dark skin, embrace your big nose or your big lips, whatever God gave you, because you're gonna find out even after you done got all this work done, these men out here still are the same. You're gonna keep attracting the same type of dudes unless you change your mindset. But anyway, I don't want to digress on that, but I just thought I would tell y'all that. But doing my U-turn, going back to Arionne air mattress. So like I said, these blogs and social media outlets, they love when these side chicks especially have to expose some sort of information. So the neighborhood talk posted on Instagram, Martell Holt's on and off again lover Arionne Curry drags him and has a message for the ladies. Never have a baby by a married man. Let me be your example. Let me be your example. Someone had to be it. Now, this ain't the first time Arionne has made this statement. And I think before, Arionne was only saying it just to be saying it because it sounded right. But I strongly believe that it's going from just saying it to actually feeling it and now actually knowing it. So if she's never been honest about anything else, I would give her credit on this and this only, that she knows in her heart, even though she's not willing to change how she's going to deal with it, but she knows in her heart having a baby by Martell was one of the worst mistakes in her life. And just for her to say it, even though she doesn't say it as often as she should, even though she doesn't go around doing the interviews constantly touching upon her regretting having knocks, but she knows without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm sure she loves her son. Not too many women who have not made bad decisions like this and lose love for their child. That's still your child at the end of the day. But Arionne, as time goes on, the reality has become more real. It has become more harsh. And in this interview that I'm going to start get ready to break down, she ends up admitting to it. So let's get into this interview, y'all. Big ups again to Original Straight No Chaser. If y'all want to hear the interview, the live dialogue between Arionne and Straight Chaser, go to her channel. The video is still up, so it should be the last video she actually uploaded. So check it out if you actually want to hear the interview for herself, for yourselves. So anyway, in the interview, from what I was able to gather, Arionne claims all this time that Martell and Sheree has been together, that Martell has been basically insinuating, making gestures about Sheree's old age. And you can tell just based off of listening to Arionne's tone that she was getting off on the fact that she knows that she's younger than Sheree. So you got to realize, when it comes to these side chicks, they love to find fault in their competition. And Arionne said the same thing about Mel, and we know Mel is stunning. Mel will put these 20-year-old women to shame. And it's as if these young women don't realize, hell, I know some 20-year-olds that look cracked out, look drugged out, look AIDS infested, and they not even made it to their 30s. So age does not determine your looks, and it does not determine your sex appeal. It has everything to do with your confidence and the way you carry yourself as a woman, and the fact that you're a health conscious. You're not going around here smoking, drinking, doing anything, and dealing with married men, anything that's causing you to stress out so much to where you're aging ahead of your time. But nevertheless, Arionne was gloating off the fact that, you know, being that Martell, I guess, had and her have had some side bar conversations. Martell basically has told her or given her the indication that Sheree is too old for him because, you know, she can't even read without her reading glasses. You know, and this is according to, you know, Straight Chasers, you know, interview with her. But Arionne co-signed and said that Martell did say this. And, you know, like I said, these side chicks, they love when their married man is talking, is basically dragging his wife or dragging other women, because it strokes their ego. And see, Arionne swears she has a one-up because, one, she know Mel is older than her, and she knows Sheree is older than her, and she's even called both of these women old. And I don't even understand, these women still look fabulous and stuff, you know. And again, this is to make, this is for Arionne to convince herself, to assure herself that she has something other women don't have. And if she has to make herself believe her youth, her young age, and she's not that young anymore. You got to realize, boo, you aging too. You 32 years old, and hopefully you even look as good as Melody and Sheree when you get to that age. Because if you keep holding on to Martell, you're going to become a senior citizen way before your time, because Martell is a piece of work. But anyway, you know, she was happy about that in the interview, you know, especially when, you know, Martell and Sheree was, you know, spotted out all over town. And, you know, of course that was making her feel some type of way. So any negative thing that Martell would say about Sheree, she gloats off of it, and not realizing that Martell is a manipulator. So if he has to put down other women in order for him to be in good standing with Arionne, in order for him to still be able to deal with Arionne at his convenience, he's going to do that. He's going to try to downplay other women. Well, you know, me and Sheree just friends. We're doing this for money. She's too old for me. She's not even my type. And one thing about these men, when they know what strokes your ego, they'll use it. So when he gets with these older women, he's always telling Arionne or giving Arionne the indication that he's not into old women, which is the reason he chose her. So that is what keeps her ego boosted and going, and not even understanding you still getting treated and shitted on just like the older women he claims he's not into. Okay, so you're still not winning, even though you may feel like you're on the up and up because he's comparing you to these other women. But anyway, that was one of the things she said in the interview. And she also confirmed that Sheree and Martell have been intimate. Now, the reason I believe this is because I do believe originally that when Sheree and Martell got together, it was originally for the money. It was for clout. And it was a way for them to kind of build off each other. I think they both went in with that. That was the main intent of them getting together. Because, you know, even Ray Charles can see this was not, they was not trying to be a couple. They was not trying to be together. This was all about clout. So Arionne confirms, you know, because Martell, being a dummy that he is, he runs his mouth and he tells her everything, knowing his baby mama is childish and she can't hold water. But they had already been intimate. They had been in bed with each other. And I do believe Sheree ended up catching feelings for him. I do believe originally it was an agenda, and it was about clout. But I think being around Martell, being that she does not have a man, she does not have a male companion in her life, and you know, we all know Martell is full of crap, but he knows how to turn up the charm, especially for women that are desperate and willing to overlook the demons in his closet. And I believe her being around him, she fell for him. She caught feelings for him. And I'm sure they've been to bed together, even if it was a one-time thing. You know, I believe, I'm sure she caught feelings for him, because Martell knows how to turn up the charm, especially when he has an agenda and he has a motive. And like a lot of things, women, we try to go into situations and we try to guard ourselves and make ourselves believe I'm not going to fall for this man. I'm not going to catch feelings for this man. I know he married, or I know he all about a dollar, or I know he just using me, so I'm going to just get the D, and be on by my merry way. You know, I'm going to get what I can get out of this too. But all of us ain't built to be able to deal with these men and not get some type of emotional attachment. Sheree had been spending a lot of time with Martell, you know, and we haven't really heard about her with much any other male friends. And we've heard her defending him to the core. That's how I know she done been in bed with him. She went defending him, trying to make excuses for him. But he, on the other hand, oh, we just friends. That's just a good girlfriend, you know. And another thing to consider is, you know, because again, Sheree, we can tell she's gotten something done to her face, you know. Her face was tighter than pantyhose from the dollar store. And hopefully Martell did not say anything to make her feel like she's old. And we know Arionne already put it out there and called her old. And I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't make her feel some type of way, which is why she resorted to getting out work done on her face. Because I find it mighty funny. I'm looking at the timing. Now that her and Martell aren't speaking to each other, she's back to being single. You know, her face done tightened up quite a bit, you know. To the point that I feel like if she was to smile, she probably would get a migraine, because that's just how tight her face looks now. So I wouldn't be surprised if that played a part in her getting our Botox done to her face. You know, like I said, there's a lot of competition in Atlanta. You got all these younger women coming up, and they shitting on older women. Like, you old hag. You know, anybody that's over 35 now, they calling us old hags. They saying we done hit the wall. And the truth is, your age doesn't make you hit the wall. It's the way you live your life. You could be 18 years old, but if you don't have more trains ran on you than Amtrak, then you don't hit the wall. You don't have to be 35, 40 to hit the wall because of your age. And it just amazes me, the narratives that are being pushed around here. But anyway, back to the interview. She also claimed, you know, she hadn't seen Martell in months. And she did, unfortunately, within those months of not dealing with him, she went back one more time. So she claimed, because this is what she said. So I apologize to all my Christian folks, those of you that are holier than thou. But she said she wanted to smash him just that one time, and that she wanted her ass ate. Don't shoot the messenger. So she went back and got up with Martell and let him smash and eat her ass. Okay, take it for what it's worth. So she admits to Straight Chaser that she had a weak moment, you know, and that you know, she was standing strong for a while, and you know, Martell know how to work that demonic charm, and called up, hey baby, what you doing? You know, I'm in town. You know how these dudes do. So she smashed him, you know, and as always, whatever a dude smash, he'll trash, you know, and she instantly regretted it right away. And I think that as Arionne gets older, because you got to realize she's not that same little girl that Martell got with, just like Melody got with Martell very young, and Melody is a full grown woman now. So the stuff she used to tolerate back then, when she was young and didn't have the experience she had now, she's not about to tolerate that. And that's why she left Martell's dusty, tight Easter pants wearing ass and penny loafers with no pennies in it. So, as much as we get a lot of fun out of dragging air mattress, I believe the older she gets, reality, she's going to get a new outlook on life. And some of us are late bloomers. Some of us are slower than others. And maybe that may be the reason why she hasn't had any more kids from him yet. So she's oblivious, but she's not so oblivious to the point that she's trying to get more stuck with Martell than what she already is. So I don't want to, I don't want to toot her horn too early. Trying to give a little credit. I can't give her much though. But she allowed him to come back over, and she told Straight Chaser she realizes she's getting fed up with Martell, because again, you're not that little girl no more that he used to could just break off trinkets and take you to Red Lobster and give you some head and you good. You're becoming older now. You're going to want more. You're going to desire more. Your needs change. Listen, ladies, what you wanted in your 20s, you're not going to want in your 30s. What you wanted in your 30s, you're not going to want in your 40s. Your needs and your outlook on life is going to constantly change. I don't care if you're a hoe, Jezebel, prostitute. As life happens along the way, you learn, you learn different things, and you adopt a different concept. Life is going to give you no choice, regardless of how stubborn, regardless of how stigmatized, regardless of how college educated you are. Like, life is going to keep teaching you new lessons every day. And the older Arionne gets, reality gonna keep sinking in. It's not going anywhere. So basically, she's telling Straight Chaser, and you could tell by the tone of her voice, she's very much fed up. It's like a revolving door, same thing day in and day out, and this has been for years. Okay, so she's basically told Straight Chaser she's getting fed up with Martell having his cake and eat it too. She further admitted that Martell said it became the norm for him to go back and forth between her and others. So she basically said that Martell told her he was never going to choose. So Melody leaving that marriage was the smartest thing she could have ever done, because Arionne Air Mattress stated that Martell told her he ain't ever choosing. He not gonna choose anything. He got adjusted. It became normal to him to have both of them in his life. And if y'all been following me for quite a long time, anybody in the comment section could attest to this. I've been told y'all when all of this first went down that Martell is not going to be able to function with one and not have the other. So when Melody left him, even though he still had Arionne, it defeated the purpose, because he had gotten accustomed to having both of these women for his own needs. Okay, so him just having Melody and not Arionne was not going to be enough. And him just having Air Mattress and not having Melody was not going to be enough. He had gotten used to the comfort and the financial stability that Melody gave him, but at the same time, he had become accustomed to all the sexual pleasures and fulfillment that Arionne was giving him. So he wanted the best of both worlds. He was basically being greedy. He was being greedy. And that's what happens. Greed gets out of control. And it got so out of control to the point that Martell was losing respect for his marriage. And he made it more and more evident. He was already disrespectful, just stepping out on his wife. But it got to the point he started disrespecting Mel. And disrespecting, you know, his vows. And it got to a point to where Melody couldn't hold out no more. Couldn't wait for him to change. She had to give it up. She had to throw in the towel because Martell's greed was draining the marriage and draining Melody spiritually, mentally, and financially, because he was taking money out of his household to support his Jezebel. First Timothy chapter 6 verses 6 through 10. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing with these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. So it doesn't just have to, rich is just not one temptation. It's several temptations. Sexual perversion is a temptation that can plunge you into ruining and destruction, and we see that right before our eyes with Martell. So getting back to the other things that was addressed in the interview with Straight Chaser. She further claims she's changed her number, and I don't know why she keeps changing her number, because we know Martell is still going to get the number. So that I don't just, girl. But anyway, I like how Straight Chaser strategizes. It makes Arionne feels like she's that girl. I really loved her strategy, and because Straight Chaser was making her was ego stroking her, she was leaking so much info out of her airhead. She was just spilling all her guts, spilling all of her emotions, spilling everything about how Martell was doing her. So you can tell all this time she had been faking. She even attested to, she bought her own flowers and everything to call herself trying to make Martell jealous. And what Arionne does not realize, you can't make a man like Martell jealous, especially when you keep smashing him and you keep giving him the access, a full access membership card where he could come and get ass anytime he wants. It defeats the purpose. So unless you're putting your foot down and you're not making it specifically about him just spending time with your son, you still give him sexual pleasures, you still give him some head and some booty when he comes over, then he's not threatened by you moving on or pretending you got a man. And not to mention, she doesn't realize, just like these older women she's calling old, Martell is old too. So a old dog can tell if you really don't have no new tricks. And he knows that Arionne is not smart enough to go move on and really get a new man. He already knows he has her wrapped. But during the interview, ironically, she contradicts herself, because she's saying she's fed up with him, right? She's fed up with being Martell's ping pong punani. She's tired of being his ping pong punani. He's able to come back and forth, whenever he wants. But then under the same breath, she brags about how Martell still wants her and keeps coming back to her. Listening to her interview, she's sharing her, she's being transparent about her frustration for Martell dragging her. And one could only imagine, we already knew, whether she wanted to admit that or not, that's exactly what Martell was doing, because we've seen Melody go through it for years. But strangely, under the same breath, y'all, she'll turn around and still try to brag, which I thought that was interesting because it really displays her lack of self-esteem and her immaturity, and thinking that just because Martell keeps coming back, that she is a winner. She wouldn't verbalize those words like that, but I noticed when Straight Chaser was, you know, pretending to stroke her ego, and I'm sure, I'm sure it was used as a strategy to get her comfortable to keep her leaking information. Every time Straight Chaser would be like, yeah, girl, because, you know, Martell keep coming back, and, you know, evidently, you know, he wants to be with you if he keeps coming back. And you could tell Air Mattress would co-sign every time, you know, Straight Chaser would give her that ego boost and tell her that, you know, Martell is still checking for you. Martell's still feeling you, girl. That's his problem. That's why he don't want nobody else around. And you can tell every time Straight Chaser kept saying that, Arionne was gloating. And in her mind, she really believes she will always own a piece of Martell's heart, no matter how much he treats her, how much he disrespects her, how many women he parades publicly, you know, for clout. In her mind, she feels like she will always be that chick. Like that song by Heather Heatley, In My Mind, I'll always be his lady. In my mind, I'll always be his girl. In her mind, she still feels like Martell belongs to her. Or, in this case, she belongs to Martell. Because Martell ain't claiming her like that. So anyway, Martell basically tells Airhead she talks too much, speaks on them too much. And that's when she really started getting frustrated, because Martell wants her to keep her mouth closed, because you have to realize Martell is still out here doing dirty stuff. He's still out here lying to women. He's still out here manipulating women. And every time Arionne runs her mouth, it blows his cover for the women he's trying to manipulate or to get over on. And in a sense, when Arionne does that, she doesn't realize, truth be told, that she does messes up his bag. You know, if he's on a reality show making it seem like he's not dealing with Arionne, but Arionne is spilling the beans and letting it be known that they're still having smash sessions and all of that, then it pretty much makes everything he looks like, everything he says on his shows, it looks false. It doesn't, you know, it just it taints away from the reality show. You know, Martell is up here making it seem like, you know, he's not dealing with anybody. He's not, you know, dealing with Arionne, but she's blasting him on the other end. You know, it pretty much, he loses his credibility, even as a reality show candidate. It doesn't look good, because what he's saying is not matching up with his reality according to Arionne. So it's messing up his bag, and it's messing up the women who he's trying to manipulate. So therefore, Martell is getting frustrated with Arionne running her mouth, and because he's a narcissist, he tells Arionne that so Arionne could feel bad for him, and Arionne would submit to what he wants by not talking. That way he could continue to get over on her and get over on the other women who he's trying to convince that he's no longer dealing with Arionne with. She was gloating at the fact that Martell won't leave her alone, you know, and she just kept saying it over and over like it was something to be proud of. He just will not leave me alone, you know. I be trying to move on with my life, and he keeps calling me and bothering me. And I don't know why a lot of women don't understand this. Just because a man won't leave you alone is not because, you know, he sees you as a prize, you know. If anything, he sees you as a peasant. And even Martell called her a peasant. You're just convenient. You know, I know women who got men who would never leave them. And in the back of their mind, they really think that means something, because they've been in such toxic relationships before with men who abandoned them, men who broke up with them, and men who have left them. And here it is, because this man is sticking around. He's been the most consistent, not the most committed, the most consistent, meaning he's never left her side. In her mind, she thinks she's accomplished something. Well, in many cases, some men ain't leaving because you make it too convenient. You know, he knows he can stay with you and not pay any bills. He knows he can cheat on you and mess around with multiple women and you'll never leave him. He'll stay. So every man is not staying with you because he loves you. Every man is not staying with you because he wants to be committed to you. He knows that you are convenient. There's a difference between a man looking at you as a woman to be committed with, or a woman that's convenient for him. And Arionne, like a lot of these women, she can't read in between the lines. To her, that means something. That makes her feel like she has a significant purpose in Martell's life, because supposedly, from what she's saying, he won't leave me alone. I guess not. Not when he has full access to blowjobs and booty. I guess he wouldn't. A man staying with you and a man that's being committed to you is not the same thing, ladies. Please don't get it too confused. Some men don't want to leave you. They don't want to leave because they don't want to have to go out there and deal with women that's going to challenge them to be real men. I know a full-grown woman right now, and she was in a 17-year marriage, and her husband got tired of playing the role, knowing he'd been miserable with her for quite some time. And she's always been one of those type of women that no matter how toe up her life is, she puts on this front and act as if everything is honky-dory. And all of us, we know women that's like that. No matter how dysfunctional or how terrible they marriage or relationship is, they put up this front like everything is great until the grits hit the fan. And he had left her. He left her, and he got remarried and posted all these pictures of him and his new wife and everything, and he seems to be good, because she didn't want to deal with that pain of her ex-husband moving on. She went out here and grabbed the first guy that gave her attention, just because that was her way of fulfilling that void of losing her husband of 17 years in marriage, who had moved on and remarried a whole nother woman. She puts up some build-a-bum, moves him in her house, and in her mind, she feels she got something, because the man, unlike the last one who left, this one has been sticking with her for 2-3 years, but she ain't taking in the fact he done stuck with her this long so far. Well, no, I think it's been about maybe a year and a half. He's been dealing with it because, for one, he doesn't have to work. She pays the bills, he doesn't. For two, he could drive her car all day while she's at work. In other words, she is making his life easy. She's making it to where he does not have to be a man, and therefore he's not leaving and going anywhere. And in her mind, she's learned to settle for that, because she does not want to be by herself. And you have a lot of women out here who got men, and we all know some. You might have a sister, you might have a neighbor, you might have a woman on your job. Her same husband been with her 15, 20-something years, but she the only one paying the bills. She the only one that's out there hustling and bustling. So years does not mean anything unless that man invests himself in committing to you. Then him just sticking with you, that's not enough after a while. And Arionne is finding that out, even though she's a late bloomer, and she's still going to go back and forth until Martell takes so much out of her to where she has nothing else left to give. The reality is going to sink in more and more as she gets older, because she's not no young spring chicken. And as time passes by, Martell is going to be Martell. And that's why Melody left. See, that's the difference between, in most cases, us older women versus these young women. We can see when we have signed up for some bull crap. We have the experience and we have the knowledge. So therefore, we have the tools to be able to jump ship before we lose any more than what we lost. It's these young girls like Arionne who try to drag older women, but at the same time, you drag us for our age, but you getting dragged by this man who has no respect for you. Period. So, moving along, she further states that everyone assumes Martell is only with her because he can smash her, but Martell has convinced her that if it was all about sex, he could get sex from anywhere. So because he said that, in her mind, obviously he really is checking for me, because it ain't about the sex, because Martell could get sex from anybody. So he really wants me for me. No, he does not. And see, that's why Arionne gonna go through a lot of more pain. She got way more pain to go through, because it still has not fully registered and processed. This man is not checking for you like that. When Melody left him, Arionne, when Melody left him, that was Martell's cue to wife you and marry you. Melody has been gone for what, I think 3 years now. Wow, if he's checking for you, why won't he marry you? You done had a son. Ain't like you moved on and got you another man. He got all the free will to be with you and take it to the next level, and he won't. I don't see how you're not getting that, Arionne. How you're not getting the fact he won't make you his wife. But according to what you said in the interview, Martell said it became the norm with having you and Melody. He didn't want to choose. And that's why Melody had enough common sense to leave, and you're not smart enough to figure that out. If his own wife left, that's already a red flag. You need to follow suit. But anyway, going along, she kept saying in the interview, y'all, I noticed, my baby daddy, my baby daddy. And it just further, is an indication of she's content with Martell just being her baby daddy. That means something to her. That makes her feel as if she has a real purpose in Martell's life. She's glad that she owns him in some form or another, even if it's just a baby daddy. And she kept saying it. It wasn't what she said, it was the way she said it. My baby daddy, my baby daddy. Because that's the only way you can, that's the only level of ownership you have, is that he's the father of your child. But you're not the only one who has children from him. That's Melody's baby. That's her baby's daddy's. That's her baby's daddy. And that's her ex-husband. She's not walking around here proud and got to shout out to the world, that's my ex-husband. That's my kid's daddy. She ain't making it a big deal. You making it a big deal because you still want him that bad. So a part of you got to make yourself feel good by going around telling everybody he's your baby daddy. That way you can feel like you have a real purpose in his life. He has a real purpose in yours. Girl, bye. There's a lot of women around here with baby daddies. So she's claiming her baby daddy is basically doing what he does to maintain his C- celebrity status. So basically, he's lying, manipulating her, dragging her, manipulating her so he can still keep up his high value man image, his D+ celebrity status. He wants to keep getting gigs. That's what he's convinced her to believe. This is the reason why he can't really claim her or own her. He has to do this to benefit him and her and Lil Helmet in the long run. I got these shows I got to do. I got these new opportunities. He's been feeding Arionne those same lies for years. And her being a slow sloth she is, she's still sitting up there and believing in all the lies and everything he's told her. So she further explained a lot of people, because this is the next thing. She posted on her Instagram, this is what she put: and I'm not changing my son name to Maverick. Stop calling him that. His name is Knox. He is way different from the others. Hence, why you told me you don't want him every other week like you get the others. Now, this is very interesting. She posted this on Instagram. So, a lot of people took it and ran with it. And what she said was, when she said the word way different, a lot of people was trying to state that she was insinuating that Knox had a learning disability, he was autistic or slow. And basically, she said that was not what she was saying. She didn't imply that her son was way different because he, may possibly have some type of disability. That she considered her son being way different because Martell does not take up as much time with him as he does with the Eminem kids. And his excuse to Arionne is 5 kids is too much to handle all at once. I mean, you already got 4, so why would one make a difference? But what we believe, and Arionne may not want to, is that Knox is a piece of work. He's not as calm, and he doesn't have as much discipline as the Eminem kids, and he very well, something could be wrong with him, and I believe something is wrong with him myself. I believe she needs to go get that little boy diagnosed, and for her well-being and for the safety of her son, she needs to go get him diagnosed, have him to go to a therapist. The way he screams and acts out are normally signs of a child that has some type of disability. And I'm not making a mockery of this. I'm not trying to be funny. Her son acts like one of those kids that aren't all the way there. But you have some women who got children with this kind of problem, and they have learned to master it, and because they're getting therapy, they're getting all the help they need in order to be able to learn how to deal with children who have these type of issues. Arionne, on the other hand, wants to just keep applying lip gloss. Well, she hasn't applied lip gloss in a while, but she wants to go around here doing interviews with bloggers who she thinks is her friends and her homegirls, instead of her going to therapy, getting some spiritual healing from the damage she caused upon herself by getting involved with a married man, and to definitely get therapy for her son, because she needs to do that now while he's little. Because if he's screaming and yelling and doing all of these things at his age now, if she doesn't get any help, by the time he's 5 or 6, it's just going to get worse. So she's frustrated with the fact that people took her statement and thought that she was implying that Knox is different because he could be autistic or slow or whatever. But according to her, she said treated way different because Martell doesn't hardly get Knox as much. And you can tell she's low-key hating on Melody for that, because she said supposedly Martell gets his other children several times out the week, but he only gets little helmet once in a while. And that frustrates her, because by her, when you have a 2-year-old and the parent does not relieve you by getting that child and rotating shifts, it's basically holding her up from being able to do things she want to do. So that's very frustrating for her, because she feels like his other kids, Melody gets all the room in the world to be able to start businesses and do things and get into other projects and stuff, because she gets more support from Martell. The truth is, Melody don't get a lot of support from Martell. She's said this, but Martell has a strong, solid team. She has her brother who's a good uncle to her kids. You know, she has her mom. You know, it seems like to me, Arionne, you don't have a lot of support. I know you got a mother. Your mother is not close to her grandson. Martell's mom, I guess, she doesn't feel a need to get 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 either. You don't have a strong support system. So as much as you want to blame Martell for not being as active in Arionne, in Knox's life as he is in Eminem kids, that's what you signed up for when you got involved with a married man. She also stated that she meant way different because, you know, the Eminem kids got their own mom. And, of course, she's the mother of Knox. So, you know, that was her way of trying to dress that up by saying he's being treated way different. Martell don't get that little boy a lot. And Martell probably don't get that little boy a lot because he is a lot. He's used to his children being well-mannered and disciplined. The Eminem kids are well-mannered and disciplined. They're not screaming, yelling, running all over the place like a little Chucky, like a little tyrant. Martell knows he has his work cut out for him, you know, when he gets that little boy. You don't want him every other week like you get the others. No, he don't. Because your son has no discipline. He might need to be on Ritalin. He might need to be on some medication. That's why I say I ain't trying to be funny. She need to go get her son diagnosed. Why is she thinking people picking with her about him and dragging her and making fun of him? She need to go, you know, get some therapy, get him checked out, and make sure he good upstairs. You know, that's my advice as far as that goes. You know, but that's the chance you take when dealing with married man. He's not going to do for Knox like he does for his other children. Now, then she turns around and contradicts herself and then she contradicts herself on the same breath. Well, he does get his son. He does come around. Which one is it? Okay, so I guess you're trying to say he does see him once in a while, but not like that. I guess that's what she means. He does deal with him once in a blue moon, but not like he deals with other kids. First of all, he was married to their mother. So, Lil Helmet will never get the same exact treatment as the Eminem kids. He was not married to you. And maybe, too, you got to realize everybody's getting older in this. The older Martell gets and the more that boy starts to look like him, he realizes it may be a slap in his face like, damn, you know, I really messed myself up with this one. Maybe it's a harsh reminder to him. Look, just like you are now telling people, you know, never have a baby by a married man. Let me be your example. Who's to say that Martell ain't feeling the same way except from the opposite end? Damn, I never shouldn't have had. I love my son, but I never should have had him. I never should have stepped outside my marriage and had a child from her. Who's to say he ain't having no regrets? He not on here posting on Instagram. And Martell has said, from what I can gather once or twice, he regrets that he ever even put himself in a situation. He should have stayed home. But this is the lesson that comes with being hard-headed, being greedy, and selfish and horny. Everybody is miserable in their own way. Arionne, you are not exempt from misery. Melody had to deal with the misery in her way. Martell got to deal with the misery. You got to deal with it too. Everybody in a situation is not going to get 100% of what they want their way. So another thing that she implied was a lot of people claiming her son. She further says, this is what Arionne says. She says, people claiming her son is slow, but he's not slow because he wouldn't be potty trained. And further, it was implied that it is the bloggers, we and older women, who keep saying, you know, that the reason everybody is saying not Lil Helmet is slow is because people want her son to be damaged as part of Martell's karma. I don't think that's true. I don't think people are calling him calling Lil Helmet slow or saying something is wrong with him because they want to insinuate that that is her and Martell's karma. Spiritually, Martell and Arionne are not equally yoked. And whenever you have two individuals that come together and have children and they're not spiritually yoked, that child does enter into this world with spiritual problems. And we know medically he may have, it's a probability, and everything I'm saying in this video is alleged. It's based off my opinion. It's my disclaimer for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing I say in this video is actual factual. This is all alleged. But that even science, spiritually, but whatever, however you conceive a child, that is what you put into that child. And basically, her and Martell, the way they brought him here, he's bound to have problems. So whether if you feeling some type of way because people calling him, looking at your son as slow or like he's something mentally wrong with him, it's something that's gonna always be spiritually wrong with him anyway because of how he got here. He's bound to have problems. This little boy's gonna go through something. He's become the poster child of a side chick baby because you decide to deal with a man who's publicly married and publicly known. And everybody knows how your son got here, and most importantly, God knows how your child got here. So therefore, expect to go through the things that you go through with your son, because he had no business being brought into this chaos, but he had two adults who consented to have a sexual intercourse without using any protection, and this is the results. So she further explains she feels the reason Martell won't get their son as much is because he doesn't want her to have the room to do what she wants. She stated that if Martell had Knox as much as he had the other kids, she would be able to do a lot more. It's because in her mind, he's not getting their son as much to keep her to himself. He don't want her to have too much free time. She claims that if Martell may feel like if he gets Knox too often, that's going to give her room to deal with other men, to have a life of her own where she won't need him as much and she won't be as readily available and convenient. And that may be a probability. Martell is very selfish. We've seen what he tried to do with Melody. He's tried to get Melody to hold up her life and not branch out into different businesses and do different things. He basically wanted to control Mel in his way, just like he's controlling Arionne. Only difference is he cannot control Mel because Mel is very much independent and self-sufficient. Arionne, on the other hand, is not independent and self-sufficient, so therefore he can regulate her however he chooses. She has no leg to stand on. Ain't like she could say, nigga, I got my own businesses, I don't need you. She doesn't own a business. She can't even say she work at the gas station as a clerk. She's not working. She's not doing anything to better herself to where she does not need Martell to keep a hold on her. And the bottom line is, Arionne is still stigmatized. But by the time Arionne really catches on, she's probably going to be in her 50s. Because it's a part of her who still feels like she's something special to Martell. And she believes that. And nobody's going to convince her any different. So anyway, that was the situation with that. Make sure y'all check out Straight Chaser. Really good content, really good blogger. In other news, they are saying that Kevin Hunter's baby mama, Sharina Hudson, is basically suing Kevin Hunter for child support. And we knew it was only going to be a matter of time. Sharina, Hudson needs this child to be financially provided for. And that's what's going on with Mr. Hunter. And even though we all see that he's struggling, he's not getting those Wendy Williams checks anymore, at the end of the day, these children still need to be provided for. And as we all know, Sharina has left Kevin Hunter. They are no longer together, but she is filing for child support. Now, even though we know it has been losing season for Kevin Hunter between foreclosures and stop on the alimony checks, Sharina Hudson still wants her cut, and very well so. She's entitled to it because she does have a daughter from Kevin Hunter. So basically that's what's going on with that. And like I said, she's also frustrated with the fact that she can no longer live that luxurious lifestyle with Kevin Hunter, but she still wants her child provided for. So I say all that to say this, between Arionne, Air Mattress Airhead, and Sharina Hudson, this just goes to show side chicks are not winners. I don't know who's been pushing this narrative, but I don't care how much you think you're winning in the beginning. It does have an ending, and it does have some unpleasant results when you decide to get involved with these married men. When things go wrong in their life, it affects you, how you can support your child, how you can support yourself. So be very mindful, be careful getting involved with these married men, because once their world start crumbling and they start losing everything, guess what? It's a domino effect. You're going to lose, and you're going to start feeling the wrath of his bad decisions. So anyway, y'all, appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. Before y'all leave, hit that like button. I would definitely appreciate that. Anybody who wants to donate to my movement, you're more than welcome. Again, don't forget I sell cable, 9,000 channels for only $25 a month. Email me. I also make tumblers, customized t-shirts, and things of that nature. So if you're interested in any of these items, please make sure you email me at cafedeparis79@yahoo.com. My Cash App and my email is in the thumbnail. So until another time, y'all take care, ladies. Enjoy your Friday. Be blessed.